Hello, welcome again to the lectures on controllability. In this lecture, we will be discussing about algebraic controllability criterion. Before this, in the last lecture, we studied the Kalman's controllability criterion, in which we saw that the controllability Gramian has to be evaluated over the given interval T0 to Tf. Its rank was to be checked. If it was full rank, then the system was controllable. Then using one complex expression, we could determine the input for achieving the required state transfer. Now, there are two things about that. One is that state transfer problems are rarely required to be solved in case of closed loop control. Generally, we model the systems, we understand the system dynamics, and then we design closed loop control to achieve the desired performance. So, whereas the controllability property is essential to be able to design a closed loop control to achieve arbitrary specifications on performance, but state transfer problems are rarely required to be solved. Other thing is that the controllability test using the controllability Gramian and checking its rank is quite complicated. A number of matrix multiplications, then evaluation of a complex integral, and then again multiplication, etc. So it's quite complex process by which we could assess the controllability of a system. So that kind of complexity that may be justified in case of time varying situations. For the time varying systems, time varying mathematical models, that effort is justified. But in case of linear time invariant systems, that much effort is not justified, and we have alternate simpler methods for test of controllability. One of them is the algebraic controllability criterion, using which we can test the controllability of a linear time invariant system with much more ease compared to the controllability Gramian. In this lecture, we will also get introduced to the controllability subspace and the stabilizability. So let us proceed ahead with that promise. First, we look at the algebraic controllability criterion. The linear time invariant system, it has to be noted that algebraic controllability criterion is applicable to linear time invariant systems. So this is the system. The matrices A and B are constant matrices. They don't vary with the time. X dot is AXT plus BUT. This system is controllable if the rank of controllability matrix is n, the system order. And the controllability matrix is given by this. It is the B matrix, means all the columns of B. AB matrix, the columns of the product A times B. Then the columns of the product A times AB or A square B, and so on up to A power n minus 1B. We assemble this Q matrix. We check its rank, and if the rank comes to be n, the order of the system, then the system will be controllable. If the rank of Q is less than n, then the system is treated to be uncontrollable. So we have to, from the given system dynamics, we have to basically evaluate this Q matrix and thereafter to find its rank. It is to be noted that if it is a matrix is n by n, the order is n. B will be n by m matrix. There will be n rows and m columns. So this B here is consisting of m columns. This AB here is again consisting of m columns. N by n matrix times n by m. So we get n by m matrix for AB also. Similarly for A square B also up to A n minus 1B. So this is m columns, this is m columns, this is m columns, and so on. This is m columns. So this is a matrix consisting of n rows and mn columns. N by mn matrix. It's a huge number of columns, and out of that we have to see that its rank is n. Then the matrix, the system will be controllable. Now to prove this, the starting point is this solution of the state at the terminal time Tf starting from initial state xt0. It was given in the last slide. It is this 0 input response and this 0 state response. This is the xtf. And to achieve the required state transfer, the condition to be specified, this it was explained in the last lecture. Basically the difference of xtf and this, the 0 input response, this difference must be met through this term, which is the consisting of the input u, and that is reflecting through this matrices e power a tf minus tau into b. Now this is the condition for the required state transfer. We start from this to prove the algebraic controllability criterion. Now we just introduce a short notation t bar as tf minus t0, then that integral becomes this. Just a mere substitution. In place of tf minus t0 we substitute t bar and we denote it like this. So the matrix exponential, it gets expressed, matrix exponential times this b times u tau, and that integrated from 0 to t bar. We have another notation here. Capital T denotes t bar minus tau. So what we do is this e power a t bar minus tau, or e power a capital T, with this notation we express in terms of the infinite series. We know e power at is identity plus at plus 1 by factorial to a square t square, etc. So we substitute in its place this expression, and this is an infinite series. It goes powers beyond at n minus 1. It will go up to infinite terms, but we can simplify that, as we will see. There is a well-known theorem called as Cayley-Hamilton theorem, and what it says that a power n can be expressed in terms of identity and powers of a up to n minus 1. Similarly, a power n plus 1 will also get expressed in terms of identity and powers of a up to n minus 1. So the immediate effect of that is that this a power n, which will come here, and the higher order terms which will contain at power n plus 1, at power n plus 2, etc. They can all get expressed in terms of identity at, a square, t square, and so on up to power n minus 1. And then they all can be combined together. So this infinite series, it becomes a finite series, contains combination of I, that means identity matrix, at, a square, t square, etc. So that linear combination is shown through that alpha 0, alpha 1, etc. Other thing that is done is that this was an integral. So this is an integral. So first one is integral identity matrix B u tau d tau. B is a constant matrix. So B can be taken out of the integral. So what will remain is integral 0 to t bar u tau d tau. This is written here. Of course, B is written here inside, but it can be considered that it can be taken out. Similarly, the next term, which was at into b u tau d tau, integral of that, there again that can be written integral like this. So this we expressed a power n plus 1, etc. in terms of identity a square, etc. We brought all the terms of like quantities, like powers together, and then we get this kind of a linear combination: alpha 0 into this integral, alpha 1 into this integral, alpha 2 into this integral. So everywhere they are looking identical, except that here b into identity, here a into b, here a square into b, and so on. And now we can think of taking out b, ab, etc. outside the integral, because they are constant matrices, and we can only evaluate the quantities which depend on time, integral of that. So 0 to t bar u tau d tau, 0 to t bar t u tau d tau, and so on. And these integrals are, we can see, multiplied by alpha 0, it will be multiplying to b. So we call that multiplier as theta 0. Similarly, alpha 0 into that integral evaluated by first taking out ab as theta 1, and so on. So we see that this integral gets expressed as a linear combination of matrices b, ab, a square b, etc. up to the power n minus 1. Of course, as I told, alpha zeros, alphas and thetas, they are all scalars. So we see that this integral, which we want that for the state transfer to happen, this one, this integral gets expressed as a linear combination of matrices b, ab, a square b, etc. up to a n minus 1 b. And what it means, that if all the various state transfers have to be possible, this linear combination should span the entire state space, and that will only be possible if that Q matrix, which contains this B, AB, etc., all these matrices as its columns, that controllability matrix has rank n. This is how one can prove. There are several other proofs, but this is the one which I thought is simple. Now there are possibilities like this, that when we assemble that Q matrix, assemble the columns AB, etc., columns of B, columns of AB, etc., we get the Q matrix and we check its rank. And suppose the rank comes n1, which is less than n. Q is not a full rank, meaning that the system is uncontrollable. But what it says is, in terms of vector spaces, that the dimension of vector space is spanned by all these columns of B, AB, A square B, etc. is less than n, which is n1. And entire state space is not getting spanned. So what we see that sometimes if the system is uncontrollable, it will not span the entire state space. It will only span a subspace of the state space. And that subspace is called as the controllability subspace. So to tell in general terms, the vector space or the subspace is spanned by the columns of B, the columns of AB, etc. up to the columns of AN minus 1B. This subspace is called as the controllability subspace. And if this subspace covers the entire state space, then the system is controllable, or the dimension of controllability subspace has to be same as the dimension of the state space, then the system will be controllable. But if its dimension is less, then still some state transfers will be possible, and that condition is this, that if the state transfer at time tf, the state which is being sought, minus the contribution which is coming from the initial condition, if that is equal, if that is within the controllability subspace, let it be of order n or order less than n, then the state transfer will be possible. System need not be controllable. If it is controllable, then the all state transfers will be possible. But if it is uncontrollable, and thereby the controllability subspace is not the whole state space, it is of lower dimension n1, then the state transfers that will be possible are those which are in the controllability subspace. And if this difference is outside the controllability subspace, then that state transfer will not be possible. So even if the system is uncontrollable, the state transfers within the controllability subspace will be possible. Not all state transfers will be possible. True. So this concept of controllability subspace allows us to think the various state transfers that still may be possible for the linear time invariant systems. So what we do, given some xtf and given some xt0, we check whether xtf belongs to the controllability subspace. If the answer to this is yes, and we ask the same question about xt0. If the answer to this also is yes, meaning that if both the initial state and the terminal state, they happen to be in the controllability subspace, then the state transfer will be possible. So one can check whether this condition is satisfied. However, suppose either this or both, they don't happen to be in the controllability subspace, but but this difference happens to be in the controllability subspace, then also the state transfer will be possible. So if we come across that either any of these or both do not belong to the controllability subspace, we can still check whether this difference belongs to the controllability subspace, and in the case that difference belongs to the controllability subspace, that state transfer will be possible, otherwise not. So uncontrollable systems may lead to or not may will lead to the lower dimension controllability subspace, and some state transfers may be possible. Now, in the situation when a system which was not, I am using the word completely controllable, although the definition of controllability was very strict, it said controllable and uncontrollable. But having introduced the concept of controllability subspace, we can say completely controllable. So if a system comes out to be not completely controllable and its controllability subspace is of lower dimension than the dimension of the state space, then this system can be transformed into two subsystems. One subsystem will be a controllable subsystem which will have the order n1, and the other subsystem will be uncontrollable subsystem and its order will be n minus n1. When we say controllable, it means fully controllable, and when we say uncontrollable, it means completely or fully uncontrollable. So an uncontrollable system will be transformed into a controllable subsystem and into an uncontrollable subsystem. This is mathematically, this kind of decomposition is possible, and this is done through a linear transformation x equal to tz. We have seen through the linear transformation we get equivalent models. So we have to find out a transformation T which will do this decomposition into a controllable subsystem and an uncontrollable subsystem. So this T is made like this. The T1 part is the n1 linearly independent columns of the Q matrix. We saw that uncontrollable system involves a Q matrix which is not of full rank. So it has some linearly independent columns, not n, less than n, which is n1. So its n1 independent columns, they are assembled as T1. And we select arbitrarily the remaining n minus n1 columns to make this T as a n by n matrix, and while selecting T2 we take care that they are independent of T1, so that the entire set, the entire matrix T1 T2 equal to T will have the rank n. It will be invertible. So we have this transformation consisting of the columns, independent columns of Q and arbitrarily selected columns, so as to have a full rank transformation matrix T. And once the transformation matrix is available, then rest is routine exercise. We have to do this operation T inverse AT and T inverse B to get the system matrix and the input matrix for this equivalent system. So the given linear time invariant system gets transformed to this system, and it so happens that if we do this transformation, then the transformed system dynamics will get partitioned like this. There will be one component ACC bar which will be of size n1 by n1, and there will be this component AUU bar which will be of size n minus n1 into n minus n1. So this part is the controllable part, and this part is the uncontrollable part. The controllable part has the dimension n1, and the uncontrollable part has the dimension n minus n1, which was required to be done. And this BC bar is non-zero, but this remaining part, the part corresponding to this uncontrollable subsystem, is 0. So we can see that through this T the system gets transformed. And as I told earlier, that ACC bar is the controllable part, AUU bar is the uncontrollable part. The controllable system is given through ACC bar BC, that means ZC dot is ACC bar ZC plus ACC bar ZC plus BC bar U. This is the controllable system. We ignore the component coming from the uncontrollable part, and the uncontrollable part is appearing like autonomous. ZU dot is AUU bar ZU. Input is not reaching to it. Now if it is such that the eigenvalues of AUU bar have negative real parts, then what will happen, that these states ZU, they will decay as the time progresses to infinity, and their contribution to the dynamics of ZC will become 0. So if AUU bar is stable, then the system is called as stabilizable. Why? Because the controllable part, for that we can design a controller to meet performance specification with respect to that controllable part, and the uncontrollable part is stable, so that dynamics will disappear as time increases, and so the overall system will perform with some limited specifications, with some limits on performance specification. It may still be acceptable. So this is what I was telling in the beginning, that uncontrollable system doesn't necessarily mean that system is useless. So the answer comes that if uncontrollable part has stability, then the controllable part will continue to remain useful, and in that manner the overall system may be of some use and need not be discarded. So this is it. The controller for the controllable system can be designed to achieve good response, or in limited sense good response, and the uncontrollable part, that dynamics will decay with time, so the overall system has near performance specifications. Now we take an example on this decomposition of uncontrollable system into controllable and uncontrollable subsystems. We take this system, this third order system with two inputs, and if we check its rank, we first assemble the Q matrix. So this column is here, this column is here, so this is the B matrix, this is the AB matrix, and this is the A square B matrix. This is AB and this is A square B. What we see that if we add this column and this column, we get this third column, and the fourth column is identical to the second column. That means this AB is dependent on B, and obviously then A square B will be dependent on B. But just to see the relationship, the fifth column, this column is sum of the second column and the third column, and the sixth column is same as the second column. So on B, AB and A square B both depend. So what it means, that the rank of Q is only 2. Q has only two independent columns, which are Q1 and Q2. The rank of Q is 2. And so the T matrix we make, we will choose those two columns from the independent columns of Q, same as the independent columns of Q. So these are that, and they are indeed B only, because AB is dependent on B. So we get this. And the third column we have to select. There may be multiple choices possible, but while selecting we have to take care so that we make simple selections for ease of mathematical manipulations. So if we select it as 1 0 0, then it will be independent of these two columns, and the overall T will be of rank 3. We could have selected some other value also, but this was the one very simple which I could think of. You can repeat the same problem by making some other selection which still gives a rank of 3, and you will still get the decomposition into controllable and uncontrollable systems. So we select that T and we get the rank 3, and if we evaluate T inverse, we get this as the T inverse. Then what we do is that we do that manipulation. T inverse AT will be the A bar matrix, and T inverse B will be the B bar matrix. This is A bar, this is B bar, and we look at this partitioning is indicated here. The rank of Q was 2, dimension of controllability subspace is 2, so the controllable system should have the dimension 2, and which is this. This is A bar CC, and this is B bar C, and this is A bar UU, the uncontrollable part, and this is the corresponding input part. So you can see, we can see that the input is not reaching to the state. The coefficients are both 0, neither the first input nor the second input, none of them is reaching to this part of the dynamics. And we can see, because this B is identity, so this B, and even if we make AB, because this B is identity, it already gives a rank of 2. So the system is controllable. This part, upper part of the system, is controllable through the B. In fact, one may be tempted to verify whether it is controllable by input 1 alone. So we can see for the input 1, the matrix is 1 0, and AB will be 1 0 into 1 0 1, and 1 1 into 1 0 as 1. So meaning that we get BAB, that in this case B1 AB1, for this part alone of rank 2. So the input 1 alone is sufficient to control that system. And one can check for input 2 also. We can see that input 2 gives, that is B2 is 0, 1, and AB2 is 1, 0 into 0, 1 will give 0, and 1, 1 into 0, 1 will give 1. So the second input gives a Q matrix which has rank only 1. So with the second input, this system is not controllable, but with only the first input or with both the inputs working together, this system is controllable. And none of the two inputs are contributing to that dynamics, that uncontrollable dynamics. In this particular case, of course, we see that the uncontrollable dynamics is unstable, because this we can note here that the eigenvalue of AUU bar is 1, and 1 means the real part is positive and not negative. So it will grow like e power t. As the time progresses, it will grow, it is unstable. And so this system, the answer is that it is being unstable. This system is not stabilizable. And unfortunately, in this case, this system will to be discarded, will have to be discarded. It is not useful, or we have to do some change to this B matrix. So let us say if we change this B as B1 as 1 or B2 as 1 or both as 1, then we can work out, because this is T inverse original system matrix gives this B bar, and if we select B bar as 1 1 here, non-zero some entry, then we can determine B as T into B bar, and that will give us an idea that what design changes should be done in this system, what design changes should be done, which so that the particular coefficient somewhere in this matrix will change and will make the system controllable. It gives us that idea. So another thing which got explained, as I told in my previous lecture, that controllability is a generic property of the system. So we see that if we change this B matrix here, slight change, this 0, if this becomes even epsilon, very small change, or if this 0 becomes epsilon, then the system is controllable. That is what was meant by generic. Slight change to the components will make the uncontrollable system controllable. Whether that change is feasible or not, that is an aspect of design of the systems or actuators, but mathematically, yes, it may be possible. Now we have an exercise for the students. It is on state transfer. Remember that while discussing, I mentioned that XTF minus phi TF T0 into XT0. This is something which should come through that input and the matrix phi and B. So if XTF belongs to the controllability subspace and also XT0 belongs to the controllability subspace, then the state transfer will be possible. This is just a repeat statement I said some time back. And if this difference belongs to the controllability subspace, then also the state transfer is possible. Now this question is based on that already given to you is an uncontrollable system, and it is seeking whether any of these state transfers possible. There are three. X at t equal to 0 is this, and at 0.5 it is given as this, whether this will be possible to achieve by some input. You don't have to determine the input, you have to only answer the question whether the state transfer will be possible or not. So what you have to do, you have to check whether x0 can be expressed as linear combination of b and ab, and whether x.5 can be expressed as linear combination of b and ab. If the answer comes yes to both, then this state transfer is possible. However, if the answer doesn't come yes to both or any of these, then you need to check the second step. You need to evaluate the state transition matrix, and you need to evaluate this product and then this difference. And if that difference can be expressed as linear combination of b and a times b, then the state transfer will be possible. So the student has to check for this, and for this. And in the previous case, as I was telling, that slight adjustment, slight tempering of the elements will change the uncontrollable system to controllable. Now here we are given one uncontrollable system. You have to suggest some change to just only one element of A so that this system becomes controllable. Of course, you can tell by inspection, but you have to give a mathematical reasoning through expressions. So you should obtain BAB, and you should force the rank of BAB to 2 by assuming some, either here or here, some changes, and then you will get the value of that change required. So that is the exercise. Let us summarize this lecture. This Kalman's controllability criterion based on rank of controllability Gramian is computationally very complex, and we saw it was applicable to linear time varying systems. However, because of its complexity, we had the motivation of this learning the algebraic controllability test, controllability criterion, which for linear time invariant system is applicable, and it is applied with simplicity. Controllability, this is a repeat statement. It is an important property for controller design. We have to always keep in mind that if the controllability property, if that answer comes yes, system is controllable, then controller can be designed to achieve any given response. And controller design for stabilizable systems can be carried out also, but there may be limitations on the performance. Performance need to have some kind of simplifications, or some aspects of required performance have to be omitted in case of stabilizable systems. So thank you very much, and we will meet again in another lecture.